Hey credit warriors, welcome to the show. And we have a story that came seemingly out of nowhere, at least for me, and that is that Capital One is buying Discover Financial Services, the bank behind the very popular Discover It cards, and that's one of the top cards I recommend for people new to the credit card game. In fact, I also do sometimes recommend the Capital One Platinum card for people with, low credit scores or who are just starting out, although Capital One in recent years has been targeting more the mid to high tiers with their very popular Venture X card. Anyway, let's read a little bit of the story. So it was the Wall Street Journal that broke this news, and the deal is supposedly worth $35 billion. Here's part of their article. Discover shareholders are set to receive 1.0192 Capital One shares for each Discover share, representing a premium of about 27% based on Discover's closing price Friday. After the deal closes, Capital One shareholders will hold roughly 60% of the combined company, with Discover shareholders owning the rest. The interesting thing is that Capital One is not just acquiring Discover's credit card customers, but they'll also get their savings accounts, bank accounts, and most crucially, their credit card network. You see, Capital One cards run on Visa or MasterCard networks, but Discover has its own network, the Discover Network. If you own both the issuing bank and the network, you can take home a larger cut of the merchant fees that get paid every time the card is swiped. According to the Wall Street Journal, Capital One will switch some of its cards to the Discover Network. I'm not sure which ones, but apparently they will. Also, in case you are wondering if the Discover It card will now become the Capital One It card, apparently not. As reported in the Journal, Capital One also plans to maintain the Discover brand on the cards and network, assuming regulators sign off and the deal is consummated. So as far as what this means for points and miles and other credit card rewards, we don't really know anything apart from that the Discover brand will remain and some Capital One cards will switch to the Discover network. I love how the first thing the guys over at Doctor of Credit thought was, will Discover start doing 3 pulls for credit card applications? Referring to the fact that Capital One typically pulls from all 3 credit bureaus when you apply for one of their cards. But it'll probably be several years before any changes take place. So for now, I would say it's going to be business as usual. However, this is interesting because it is the same path that Chase took to becoming one of the biggest and best credit card issuers in the US. Loads of mergers with other banks along the way. So if I had to guess, I would say this is going to be good news eventually for Capital One and Discover cardholders or potential cardholders. Businesses operate more efficiently at scale, so it may give the bank more capital to offer bigger bonuses and perks to compete with Chase, Citi, and others. So for us, I would say it's going to be a good thing. All right, guys, that is the video. Short and sweet. If you're interested in the Capital One Venture X or any of the cards we regularly talk about on our show, do click the link below to access my credit card guide. Of course, if you do use our links, it does help us out, so we thank you very much if you do. Please subscribe to the channel for new credit card and personal finance tips and tricks almost every day, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.